Hi, all Malex Lives. I think it's time to play a little... Oh, that's the noise I'm hearing. 7 Days to Die. Alright, so we gotta clear the zombie bulls. Zombies. Zombie. Oh, here you are. Zombie. Oh, we fell into the pit. I was expecting it. I just wasn't expecting it here. I honestly thought this was going to happen in the kitchen when I first started. Well, it's not too bad. One zombie came out. I was expecting a whole horde of them. I got a chance to see, what did I watch? Send Help. So spoilers for Send Help, but it wasn't great. The synopsis sounded cool. Two stranded survivors fight it out on a deserted island kind of thing. That seemed like fun. But oof, the the storyline for that movie was not great. What is this? Patchwork long underwear. Wait. The patchwork long underwear is better. Okay. That's apparently the same as what I'm wearing. So I only want this, I guess. I suppose I could have scrapped that other stuff. But, yeah, it was, I don't know, man. I don't know what they were trying to go for in that movie. It was bizarre, a little bit, like, not in a good way. Basically, it started with this woman, and she's like being portrayed as super nerd, right? She dresses kind of dumpy. She's like making tuna fish sandwiches at home to take into the office. She's eating them at her desk. She's getting tuna fish on her face and smushes it into her desk drawer, and and I'm just like, oh, okay. I thought this was gonna be a more of a slasher horror movie kind of thing, and it was not. Um, and then the boss must have died. I thought they said he retired, but then they were, paying their respects to the son who's the new CEO, and she thought she was going to get a VP position because the old owner had promised it to her, and then the new owner, the son, he gives the position to his frat buddy instead. And so um uh and they show like her at home sharing a piece of peanut butter toast with her cockatoo. Maybe it was a cockatoo, maybe it was a parakeet. I can't remember what kind of bird it was. And they show that her shelves are covered in like outdoor survival things. And so then basically he wants to fire her because he thinks she's disgusting. Um, and she's very awkward. And um, what's this? A strength mod. This AI neural chip designed for installation in headgear bypasses myostatin to enhance strength. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've seen one of those before. Sunglasses. Wait. I haven't looked because this patched. I'm sorry. Is sunglasses going to take the place of my helmet? Oh, it is. It is. Yeah, guess what? I'm gonna stick with protection. Thanks. I don't think there's. Yeah, I've only got one spot on this headgear, and I'm not removing my light. And so, basically everyone was like, you can't fire her. She does all the work. Don't you understand? She does all the work. And we don't want to have to do the work. So you have to keep her on. And he's like, fine, but I want her transferred to another place. And they're like, but we need her for the merger, so she has to go with us. And he's like, fine. So he calls her in, and she's all, or she comes storming in, and he's all, like, I don't know, interviewing new hires that are attractive women. And then he's like, what are you going to do for me to get this position? You know, kind of thing. And so, um, I totally didn't look for the way out. And, so she demands to talk to him, and so he tells her she's not a schmoozer kind of person, um and that's why he couldn't make her the VP, because VPs have to, deal with people. And I listen, he's not totally wrong, okay? Um he's an awful person, don't get me wrong, but she would not make a good interacting with the public VP at the beginning of that movie. And so anyways, they get on the plane to go to Bangkok. She's fixing their problems before they get there, with the contract. And the plane, or no, then she finishes the contract, and she sees everybody gathered around laughing about something. She takes out her earbuds, and they're laughing about her Survivor TV show application video. And then the plane crashes like immediately when that's happening. And then her and the boss wash up on shore of this island. And then it's just basically, from that point on, is just dumb. I don't know. He hurt his leg, so he can't move when they first get there. So she's getting, water and fire and food and all that stuff from all her, studying survival manuals and things. And then I think just before he gets better, um he throws a fit that she needs to remember that he's her boss.
Happy hour ain't happy. Now that you did the job, I guess you ain't that damn bad after all.
uh and
I got work to do if you. Well, good luck. By the looks of it, you're gonna need it.
And were these a couple of forge books? Nice. A couple of scrapping for fun books. And some wiring books. It's crazy how much wiring I've got. Oh, nice. Upgraded salvage wrench. Okay, we need to go back to base. Oh, I can't put my bike down in here. So, yeah, so they, I don't know, she's out, after they have a fight, she leaves him, takes all the water and stuff, and so he's on the beach, refusing to move because he's a giant baby. And, she sees people, and she follows them, and they're caretakers because the island they wash up on is a oh dude, that's like pretty near my house actually. The island they wash up on is like a private island with a house on it, and so the caretaker's just making sure the house is okay, and then after they leave she goes in and um I guess eats and gets a knife and stuff, and then uh eventually he decides he has to go with her because he doesn't know what he's doing, and so he kind of apologizes, and then um and then they work together a little bit, and then he decides he wants to leave, and so he tells her that he's going to a storm comes through, so he's gonna build a new shelter. And then this is where it gets really weird. He decides he's gonna build a new shelter. You don't know that she found a house at this point. You don't find out about the house until the end of the movie. But he's gonna build their new shelter while she goes out and gets them food and stuff. And so apparently while he was doing that, he also built a raft. And then she had shown him what to eat and what not to eat, kind of thing. And so then he puts a bunch of poison berries in the food for her to eat, and then tries to take off on his raft. And all he managed to do is get washed back up on shore because his raft is crap. And so then she poisons him with octopus that makes him paralyzed, and then threatens him that if he tries anything like that again, she's gonna castrate him. And then aloe is the medicine. And then she goes back out into the woods, and she told him to stay away from the other end of the island because of thorns and poisonous stuff, which is where the house is at. And so, um, and so, oh, you know what? This is actually cooked food. And so, um, so then while she's out exploring after that, she sees a boat pull in, and it's the dude's fiance looking for him. And so she doesn't know what to do, and so her and the fiance and the boat driver start heading back, but she takes them along a path where she almost fell and died at one point in the movie. And so she makes sure that they go ahead, and then the fiance falls off the cliff, and the boat captain grabs her, and then she hits the boat captain, so they both fall off the cliff. And then the dude says he's gonna go after she gets back from that. She says she needs a sick day because she's freaking out from having killed people. And and oh no, I hear dog. Oh, oh, geez, it's Attack of the Wild Animals. Okay, well that was unpleasant. And so she's refusing to move now because freaking out about killing people, and then he goes out to hunt a wild boar, which she had done earlier in the movie, and he finds his fiance's arm with the ring still on it. And so he comes back and confronts her about having killed them. I don't know how he knows she killed them, but that's what he assumes. And then they have a huge fight, and then they end up at that house, and then she kills him, and then she goes back to normal world and writes a book that about her solo time on a deserted island, and having been the only survivor of the crash. And then that was, oh, and she was playing golf because that was one of the things he said was that she needed to be a golf person to oh wow, okay. I thought we just cut our way in, but I guess we'll go through the house. But yeah, it wasn't great. They were all weird and awkward, and I don't know. It was definitely not my kind of movie. Uh I was expecting to be more of a serious, I thought they would be hunting the woman across the island or whatever. Or something, but no, it was just this weird, like, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just not my thing. Um, yeah. I also watched a bunch of analog horror stuff on YouTube this week. Some I'd seen before. Well, I hadn't seen those specific videos before. I don't tend to watch the actual analog horror videos. I like to watch the people who explain the analog horror videos, because if you've ever watched an analog horror, or if you've never watched an analog horror on YouTube, they tend to be tiny bits and pieces that sort of tell a story, but require you to piece the things together, which is fun, I guess, if I'm paying attention, but I'm often using it as background noise while I work. And so I like the people who explain to me all the bits and pieces. Plus, sometimes you'll get some really complex ones where, like, I guess I do watch some analog horror from time to time, but you get some really complex ones where it's like, um, not all the pieces are in the same place, right? So like you might watch an analog horror that takes place over multiple different channels, and part of it might happen on Twitter or Discord or something like that. And so it's nice to have someone piece together all the different things that I wouldn't be involved in to so I can see the whole story, I guess. But I watched a few over the week here. Um, uh, they tend to be I don't know. If you don't know what analog horror is, it's hard to explain. They're like they're often like found footage stuff or um poorly done CGI bits. Not poorly done, but definitely not like photorealistic, right? They're very old school, I guess, CGI. Like you're not gonna mistake these things for reality, right? But you know, I enjoy the creepy stories. Um, they've got one.
You better make it. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to pay you now that you did it.
Oh, I haven't done this one yet. Learn emergency response driving skills to reduce collision damage to vehicles. That sounds very useful for me. We just did a fetch. Let's do a clear.
I'm gonna make you an offer. You don't just stand there with your thumb up your ass. Get the job done.
So, like the one of the ones I watched this week was pretty good. Was I've forgotten the name of it. I think it's like Greylock. Uh, Gray something. Gray. Oh, it's almost nighttime. Probably shouldn't do a clear at night. I should probably go back to my base. Um, but it was pretty good. It was I don't know how many parts it was. Like I said, I watched the video that compiled all the parts and explained timelines and stuff. But basically they're experimenting with thought forms called tulpas. And there's a horror movie based off of them, sorta, as well, which isn't great, but not Greylock, but off Tulpas that I watched here not too long ago. What was that one called? I don't remember what it's called. Dang it! I just watched it. I saw a clip. No. So occasionally I'll be going through like YouTube Shorts, and people or Twitter or something, and people like, this is the scariest movie I've seen, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like something I'd like to watch. And then I go and watch it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I already saw this, and I didn't like it the first time. And this Tulpa one was part of it. Like it's got interesting parts, but it's a really boring movie, and there's better versions of that movie. Um, but anyways, tulpas are like I want to say like a Zen Buddhist thing, maybe, or a Tibetan monk thing, or you know, something I can't remember exactly who it belongs to, but some kind of East Asian something. Is Tibet East Asia? Is Tibet? I don't know. Anyways, I think it's a Buddhist thing, and so it's you can will you can will your thoughts into reality kind of thing, and so um, I probably don't need these. I don't need this. I don't need these. Did I pick up anything? Oh, here we go. A lot of raw food from this. And so the Greylock is spoilers, I guess, a little bit, but it's pretty good. It's about that, and they basically basically just have different videos exploring how they accidentally released something from a cave that's causing uh, tulpas to do things across the. Although their version of tulpa is, oh look, they changed dew collectors. Dew collectors used to be 3 things. Oh no, and now it takes empty jars. Okay. Does that mean if I drink something, I get an empty jar back now, or I did not? So I'm gonna have to make jars. Okay. Well, I do have some empty jars. And so they had like these going a big stack of 6, or oh they do, okay. Hey buddy, I need jars. Sand and clay, okay. Give me like, oh wow. Yeah, let's not with 90, but let's go with like 40, I guess. It's a little different in Greylock though, because like people start changing, which isn't a thing, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert, clearly. And but they also have like honestly, honestly, this is what I would say. There are some thought form things that happen in Greylock, but most of it just seems to be like something got released from a cave that's causing people to mutate into monsters that are cannibals. That's what I would say about Greylock, and it's pretty good. Um, I appreciated the guy explaining it because I had watched it before, like the individual videos, and I totally missed that some of the characters were connected to each other. It's good though. It's good and creepy. And then I watched this one called Hollow Bones. I thought was pretty good. Uh, which follows this guy who is like having nightmares and drawing weird things, and then oh no, I just realized I trapped my mouse cord. Uh, I've got a I've got a USB-C cable hooked down on my desk, and because I don't like having my controller plugged in because it won't stay on my table when I move my table, because I've got a mobile table that comes over to where I'm sitting, and so it's always sliding off and it irritates me, so I unplug it, and then I've got the cord locked down so the cord will stay on the edge of the table. And I was playing some Metroidvania games today, and so I had my controller plugged back in, and when I hooked my C cord back down, I hooked it over top of my mouse cord. But anyways, um Hollow Bones is oh, I see they go in stacks of 10. Okay. Hollow Bones is like about experiments being conducted on people. They're turning them into creatures, and how this kid and his family, well, he's not a kid, but this guy and his family were affected by said experiments. It was pretty good. And then I'd never seen Ted the Caver, which apparently is like the original creepypasta. Um, and so I listened to somebody read Ted the Caver, but then I found out that the guy who did Hollow Bones also did a live action version of Ted the Caver, and let me tell you, the live action version is really good. Alex Archives, I think it was called. Um, but yeah, I do enjoy the occasional analog horror series. I've seen through like the Slender Man stuff. I watched the like the original trilogy of series that spawns the Slender Man mythos kind of thing. Like Slender Man was originally a photograph contest, like a edited photograph contest, and then these people took it and turned it into the start of what they call the Slender universe, which basically gave him all his powers that he didn't have in the original photos. Um, Not that I can remember what they're called. There's like what the Marble Hornets, I think, is one of them, and then Everyman Hybrid. I really liked Everyman Hybrid. The Everyman Hybrid doesn't so much have I mean Slenderman's in it, but they kind of spin off with their own bad guys, and I really liked the bad guy in Everyman Hybrid. I thought he was excellent. Um, and then I don't know. There's a couple other I've seen that were the start of all that. Uh, but I've seen a lot. I've watched quite a few analog horrors and that kind of thing. Like I said, they're like found footage things. Like I watched when I when YouTube was young. There was one called was it Lonely Girl 15? That must be like, dude, was this 2026? I'll bet it's like I'll bet it's like 20 years old or more now. And I watched a lot of that one. That one took place over multiple channels. And that was they're not always like found footage. Sometimes they're like vlogging things. But that was an analog horror, uh, I would say. And that was about a girl being um prepped to be sacrificed for some kind of cult, and then the people who helped her escape, and they're like on the run across the country and stuff. It was pretty good, from what I remember. And although, like I said, it's been 20 years since I watched it, or more, and or less. I don't know. I don't know when it came out, but yeah, yeah. Analog horror is fun stuff. I see one down here in the corner where they're going over analog horror, something called Angel Engine. I haven't watched yet, but yeah. There's a handful of people I like to watch that over that kind of stuff. New one I found was T Metal. I liked him. He does a good job. And then occasionally watch Windigoon. I really like Nightmind. I think that dude does an excellent job of going over stuff. I was trying to think what the other one I just watched where it was like it was funny because there's like they're opening portals to other dimensions and monsters are coming through, and like they cordon off Alaska, right? Because that's where the laboratory was that tore open the holes. And then part of it was there's a little dot next to the moon, and so there's a thing in there where it's like this is your god now. And I just thought it was funny because I'm watching the Artemis 2 thing, And when they were getting ready to do their high altitude burn to put them into trajectory for the lunar bypass, the way their camera is set up, there was a red dot next to Earth. It's just like, ooh, look, it's just like the analog horror I watched. Uh, but yeah, some of those, like I said, I like watching them on compilation channels where they explain them because like there's some that are like all done on Twitter, and there's just no way that I would ever come across something like that. Or they're done on like other platforms that I just never visit. I remember there's one where the sun goes dark, and there's like a whole giant storyline with that, but it's all in like little tweets and videos, like that are posted to various places on Twitter and things like that. And so it's really nice to hit those compilation things. Or like there's a that horror game coming out. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Funland or Happyland or something. I don't remember. But like they've got a whole thing where there's like stuff on Discord and stuff on Twitter and stuff on forums and stuff hidden in the code for the video game they released, and different versions of the video game, not the actual video game, but like this precursor side scroller video game and all this stuff. And it's just stuff you would never come across if you weren't involved in it when it happened. And so it's real nice to be able to have somebody go over all that so I can get all the cool story that goes with stuff. But yeah. All right. Well, with that, be bearing the small things, leaving the light, and I will talk to you later.